Hello everyone, welcome to Team Atlas. My name is Scott, and we're going to be doing some standard today. Before we get started, I want to remind you that all of our videos and content are brought to you by atlascollectables.com, your source for the cheapest trading card prices on the net. Alright, and today I have a black-green list for you today. I'm tired of Marvel. I'm just over the top sick of it. I did play it in GP Montreal, and I regret doing so. Um, it was not it was not a lot of fun playing a bunch of mirror matches, and as much as you can get lucky with Marvel, you can get unlucky with it as well. I didn't really get to play much Magic at GP Montreal, um, but from what I did and from other decks that I saw, this was my favorite. I've slightly tweaked Sean McLaren's list. Sean McLaren, um, one of my favorite Magic players to watch. He built a green black list and tuned it for Marvel matchups. And so this isn't his exact 75. I did play his exact 75. I took that through a league and I did like it. I went 4-1 with that deck, and then I made some changes myself. So main deck changes that I made was he played 4 copies of Nissa Voices Zendikar. I cut one of those and play a second copy of Verdurous Gearhulk. My reasoning for that is, especially in the Marvel matchups, um, you might have Dissenter's Deliverance to take care of the Marvel, but they're still going to get one spin with it. And if they hit Ulamog, you're done anyway. So the best way to to beat that deck pre-board is to pressure them. And what Verder's Gearhawk does really well is apply pressure because of the trample, as well as its ability to place extra power on other creatures. Another change I made is he played 4 copies of Dissenter's Deliverance, and while I did like that, I found that it was awkward drawing too many copies in a row, playing against decks that had no artifacts. So I trimmed that to 3 copies of Dissenter's Deliverance, and I added a 4th Fatal Push. Not really sure if that's correct. It might be okay to play 3 Fatal Push in main deck 1 Grasp of Darkness, but I'm going to try it with 4 Fatal Pushes. Traverse the Uvenwald, for obvious reasons. You get Delirium fairly easily in this deck. Tutor up any creature that you wish. And also we are playing 22 lands, and Traverse the Uvenwald effectively makes that 26. As if this is in your opening hand with relatively few lands, you use it early, go grab another basic, and you're off to the races. 11 basics, 11 non-basics, Evolving Wild, the 4 copies of Blooming Marsh, the beautiful fast lands, my favorite land in the format. Hissing Quagmire, don't like it as much as Blooming Marsh, but still very great late game. And against control matchups, Evolving Wilds comboing with Tireless Tracker. We have our standard 4 copies of Walking Ballista, 4 copies of Whiny Constrictor. Grimflare is another reason, like with the presence of Marvel, it's another creature that has trample, helping you pressure them. Like I said, you get to Delirium very easily in this deck, and then Grimflare just becomes a very solid beater. 3 copies of Nissa Voices Zendikar comboing extremely well with Whiny Constrictor, also ticking up, stopping damage that is coming through, especially from those pesky Rogue Refiners. Rogue Refiner is a card that I absolutely love when I get to play and hate when my opponents play. It is, once it hits the battlefield, you feel really bad wasting a removal spell on it because it's already done its job. It replaced itself, and it has effectively giving your opponent 2 energy, helping them out with their Marvel spins. And Nissa Voices Zendikar is a nice way to just, get some value of an upticking Planeswalker and just throwing plants underneath Rogue Refiners. 3 copies of Tireless Tracker. I've tried every single way to put 4 copies in this deck because I think this card is just absolutely nuts. Um, we're going to go with 3 for now, and I might alter it in the future. 2 copies of Rishkar, comboing with Winding Constrictor, helping out with the mana for some of our higher costed stuff. 2 copies of Liliana the Last Hope. Again, another Planeswalker, helps out with Delirium, can get back some stuff if you're, can get back some creatures if you're low on cards, and also can kill some low costed stuff really well in the Zombies matchup. And if you're playing any black-green energy decks, picking off Glint-Sleeve Siphoner, shutting down other attackers. 2 copies of Never Return. With the abundance of hard to kill creatures and planeswalkers in the standard format, I think 2 copies is quite good. And then the second ability, the return ability, much better than the awakening aspect of Ruinous Path. So 2 copies of Never Return main board. Already explaining the 2 copies of Verdur's Gearhulk and the 1 main board Kalidas. Not really quite sure what to make of that. Like, it's a good card for sure, and it does a lot of does some good things against aggro matchups. Is a nice mana sink if you got some zombie build up. But I can't find a good reason to cut it, so I'm gonna keep it. And searching up with Traverse is a nice little combo. Onto the sideboard, all black. Every single card is black. And I've sort of grouped them here into for like the different packages that we want for different matchups, and then there'll be a little bit of overlap as well. So these 5 cards: 4 Transgress, 2 Dispossess, really great against the Marvel. That's essentially what all these cards are for. Is mainly for Marvel, and then lesser so the UR control decks. 3 copies of Yahini's Expertise for zombies. I think I added a 3rd and cut something else. I don't remember what I cut, but I know Sean McLaren played 2 copies, and I've had a lot of success playing green-black with 3 copies against zombies. And then we have 4 copies of our control cards. So these come in against the UR control decks. Play Gonti, take counter spells, win. And then late game Ob Nixilis is just a great engine to keep getting some card advantage, eventually leading to to the win if you get the ultimate. And then kind of our 2 Planeswalker hate cards, I guess. I added a 3rd copy of Never to Return and 1 copy of To the Slaughter. And this is a nice card to have. It comes in against Marvel. It comes in against decks that play Bristling Hydra, super hard to get rid of. And those decks also tend to play Planeswalkers as well. And like I said, this deck gets to Delirium relatively easily, so the Delirium ability onto the Slaughter is very, very effective. And then Transgresses will also come in against like the UR decks, might bring in some Dispossess if I'm worried about the Gearhulks. But that is essentially the deck. Really excited about this list. Like I said, I think it's like a tier 1.5 type of deck, with Marvel being, in my opinion, the standalone at the top. So let's see if we can take down this league, shall we? We will see you in round 1. Hey everyone, welcome to round 1 with The Rock. This is interesting. If I decide to keep this, I think I'd want to traverse for land, but the Evolving Wilds kind of makes it awkward because I'd like to play Nissa on turn 3. Yeah, let's go ahead and keep this. We'll see. We got 2 draw steps. Maybe we draw an untapped land and then a tracker. We can make this Evolving Wilds a little bit better. That's not bad. I'm gonna go ahead and get a forest. I'll pass the turn. There's a chance Probably just play Evolving Wilds next turn. Go to Swamp, leave up Fatal Push, and by leave up I mean kill this immediately. What I've seen a lot of these teamer Marvel decks do is, you know, play Servant on turn 2 and then turn 3 they get a Chandra or something ridiculous. Plus Fatal Push is not normally great in this matchup. Oh, missed the land drop, eh? Alright, well this seems like a great time to run out this Nissa. Next turn we have Constrictor and Ballista. Looking pretty good here. Yeah. If they don't make a land drop soon, I'm going to run away with this. Sure. That's fine. Yeah, I think I want to put pressure on. So I'm gonna go ahead and start crunching in for some damage. Next turn I have Walking Ballista on 2 and or a oh, okay, that's unfortunate. But not terrible. Holy smokes. Alright, let's go get a forest. We'll create a plant this time. Get in for 1. So I think, yeah, next turn is just going to be Gear Hulk. Sure. Yeah. We're going to throw everything on the Ballista. I think we're far enough ahead that this, having a Ballista with a ton of counters on it is going to be very beneficial. Okay, then he just scoops it up. So in that scenario, we're going to take down the Nissa, and that way the plant can get through as well. We have to threaten a trade with the Rogue Refiner, then he takes 6, and then I have another 6 damage to ping. Okay, let's go sideboarding. We didn't really actually get to see much of that deck, but I'm going to go ahead and assume it's the Marvel deck, based off of what I saw. So Fatal Push is not great in the matchup. Cletus is also not spectacular. What is going to be really good, though, is To the Slaughter. That new addition to the deck. Dispossess is going to be great. And Transgress the Mind is also going to be awesome. Do we like anything else? The Never to Return is iffy. I do like keeping these 2 in, though, as they tend to bring in Tireless Trackers. And if you let those things get out of hand, it's going to be a problem. Another consideration is Gaunty, although I'm not thrilled on that, especially because we have 2 things we want to cut right now. So I definitely think we cut 1 Walking Ballista. I know that was kind of the all-star for us last time, but generally it's not great in this matchup. I don't think Nissa is superb in this matchup, so I'm fine trading 1. And yeah, this seems good. We'll run it like that. So our matchup, this deck is kind of built to have a good game 1 against Marvel, and then it gets the, and by good I mean like better than most decks, because Marvel, if they get the nut draw, then You can't beat that. Um, well, we have 4 of our 5 spells are green, and then we only have 2 black mana, so I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan in this. This is better. Keep this. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and keep that on top. So we have Whiny Constrictor and Rishkar, and then if we hit our land drops, we'll have a Clue for Tireless Tracker. So we'll go ahead and do this. Anything? Probably get a swamp here, just because Rishkar, if we land it, is gonna provide us with our green mana. So I think it's okay getting a swamp here. Yeah, sure. You play your Long Tusk Cub. Well, there we go. We hit everything. Go ahead and play the Constrictor. It's probably not gonna live because they they don't normally live. They always have the Harness Lightning. Oh wow. All right. Interesting. Yeah. Unfortunately, I gotta let this through, but that's all right. Um. So I did take Fatal Push out. So this really doesn't matter which land we want to play here. Question is, do we want to play Walking Ballista first? I think the answer is no. I'm gonna go ahead and play Rishkar. The way to beat this deck is to put pressure on. And I'm fine doing this. Next turn we have Tracker, we can get some clue advantage. I hope to save this Traverse for actually searching for a creature. That's unfortunate. Sure. He's doing this before blocks, eh? Yeah, that's fine. I mean, like, it's not that great because we are getting punked for a lot here. But you know, it happens. Grimflare. Well, so I think the play is Tireless Tracker. Get a clue. And now we have the option to play Walking Ballista for 2. I think I'm alright with that. Just a little bit more of a board presence. I have the option to block the Long Tusk Cub and ping off something. Sure. It's most likely going to shoot down our Tireless Tracker. Actually, I'm going to be honest, I didn't really expect that card. Sure, that's fine. What are we missing here for Delirium? So we have Sorcery, Creature with soon-to-be Artifact. Yeah, I'm alright with this. I'm going to shoot down the Rogue Refiner. And that way he actually can't crew the boat on our turn. So it's 3 card types. Dissenter's Deliverance would be great here. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and start by cracking a clue. Quagmire. Interesting. We are hitting the land drops, so there's no reason to fire off this Traverse. I think I should put the pressure on though. So let's swing in for 8. This boat's not really gonna do anything. He could crew the boat if he wanted to, but then he's just this is assuming he doesn't have another creature in hand. So in order to crew the boat, he would have to use the long tusk cub, which is fine. We didn't really have much going on here, and he can crew the boat, hit for 6 anyway. Yeah, so I think we're dead. Yeah, we're dead here. Crews the boat, pings down Grim Flare, and hits me for far more than lethal. Is that right? Yeah. Like, I didn't think we were in a great spot anyway. Like, we could have survived a turn had we not attacked there. But we still would have been chump blocking. We would have chump blocked with one of these things. We would have been really far behind. So, it didn't... In the end, I don't think it would have mattered. We could have lived a turn. Let's see what we would have drawn. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. But like I said, I think the best way to do this is to you know, put the pressure on for sure. Okay, well, we saw the long tusk cub, so I don't mind bringing in a couple of fatal pushes. Cut another walking ballista, and maybe to the slaughter. We didn't really see any walkers there. Not to mention we didn't hit delirium either, so you win some, you lose some. Maybe it's correct to cut a Liliana instead of a Nissa. I'm gonna try like that. If I can make it. No, I didn't make it. That's alright. You know, for next time. Yeah, this is great. This actually couldn't be better. Part of me wants to play the green mana first to cycle Dissenter's Deliverance, because if we land this Dispossess, I don't think we're going to need it. I'm going to leave up the option too. Leads with a green mana, eh? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to cycle this. And that card is awesome. Holy smokes. Yeah, I'm not convinced that this is a Marvel deck anymore. Unless they just boarded out their entire Marvel package. Tireless Tracker is easier to kill. I actually like this. I have a really hard time dealing with this card, from what I've seen from experience in other matches. So I think I'm gonna take the Bristling Hydra. And next turn, if I fire off this Dispossess, actually he doesn't have any removal in hand. I might just fire off a Tireless Tracker. That way I get a clue next turn and I can crack it. I can play Walking Ballista on 2. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. So we know 3. He's got 1 unknown in hand. I actually think I just want to play Ballista
and fire off this kill the tireless tracker. As much as that hurts, I think that's a correct play. I don't have any removal in hand, and if that tracker gets out of hand, we're gonna have a hard time recovering. And he got no value out of that tracker, so I'm not gonna block. So I may as well swing in. Oh crud! I don't know if that was the correct play. I think I would have played the Hydra. Interesting. So I can play tracker, play another clue. I think I like that actually. Hmm. See what happens here. I'm gonna swing in with this tracker. And if he blocks, I might fire off this deliverance on the clue. Okay, he didn't. I'm gonna leave the deliverance up though, in case he drew. In case he drew the boat. He's got two unknowns in hand. And I'm okay with this. He cracks two clues. He goes to. He would have went to 4 toughness. I crack a clue. I go to. I go to 4 power. So. Does he have a harness landing? Yeah, of course he does. Man. Ooh, that's nice. Would be nice if I had a black mana. I have 2 chances to hit it. I need to take care of that long tusk cub. Ugh, that's really unfortunate. Alright. Running Constrictor. That was probably a mistake. Instead of playing the Blooming Marsh there, I should have cycled the Center's Deliverance to try and hit a untapped black source. I'm pretty sure this Dispossess is probably just a dead card. I could attempt to hit the Sky Sovereigns, but I would essentially be tapping out and taking 5/6 next turn, and then you get 2 more energy. It's just not. It's probably not the best way to go. So I'm gonna cycle this. Oh, nice. Okay, this does change things. I think I will take the hit from 5 next turn to look at his hand. Because I won't be able. Oh my goodness. Really? Well, I'm taking the Glorybringer. So I'm gonna get punked for 5. Six, sorry. He's gonna get some energy. He's gonna play the Bristling Hydra. and we don't have much time. Sure. Play the Hydra. Okay. Alright. Oh, man. Well, I gotta kill this. I think my only out is to crack this clue and hope to hit an untapped black source for one to play Whiny Constrictor. And we didn't get there. So I'm dead. I don't think I had another line there. Like, he drew he drew two Bristling Hydras, two Tireless Trackers, a Glory Bringer, and I had dead cards in my hand because I sideboarded incorrectly. But hey, you know what? Based off of what I saw in the first match, it was very plausible he was on Marvel, but turns out he was just on the Teamer mid-range build. Yeah, alright. We will see you guys in round 2.